Somebody lift those hands tonight.
It's a new rise.
I need you to speak it over your own life
It's
tonight.
a new rise.
It's a new rise.
Hello, 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 and welcome to the Propel Deep Dive. I am so excited that you're here with my guest, Samira Dhouib, tonight. Whenever this is, whenever you are watching this, I'm Megan DiMartino, and I am, as I said, thrilled that you're here. Reason is that this program was started for you. I have been a builder of businesses for the last 30 plus years. And in that, it is about the understanding of my foundational 5 C's: clarity, courage, confidence, commitment, and compassion. In 2020, I sold my large brick and mortar medical wellness spa, day and medical wellness spa, but didn't sell the trade name, the product line, Novitas Spa Clinicals, the Novitas Spa brand, and the URL novitasspa.com. And we started doing regenerative stem cell back in 2019, and that's a whole other story, and that's based on me and having it and people saying, could I have it? So that was really a scaling of that business. And when I went to sell that business, or someone approached me in 2020, I didn't sell that piece as well. So I continued doing that, and we do regenerative stem cell to this day. And so with that, I knew, as I shared earlier, when I sold that it was time for me to give back to you and to help you identify your clarity, what you want to do, how you build courage, and then that confidence to take that step or multiple steps, and that commitment to never stop, and then compassion for yourself. So this program of the Propel program itself is a program that I do with people, and then we have other pieces to it, like the Propel community and like. But in 2020, I started the Unique Leaders Live and podcast, and so transitioned it over to the Propel Live and podcast back in 2023. So with that, I want you to sit back and listen to my guest and her journey, her story, because it's not any different than yours. You have a dream in your heart, you have a passion to do something, and it will propel you to start, scale, and sustain. So without further ado, I'd like you to meet my guest, Samira Dhouib, who I met on Clubhouse during the 2021 period. So welcome, Miss Samira.
Thank you so much. I would say merci beaucoup for those who are listening. This is a real pleasure. C'est un plaisir. I'm sure some maybe French would probably come in and listen. And that is why I'm so, you were talking, I said, propel. I just love the word. The word means a lot for someone who is a serial entrepreneur and have been in business since the early age. My parents always say, you started at 6 years old, putting people together. And that's why, for me, the story today is none. I'm sure a lot of people have so beautiful stories to tell, but the only thing they don't know is that they never, ever actually would understand that maybe they will be here sharing their story or telling things that actually would help people. So it started a long time ago, I would say. So that's why the 6 is the number of light that started actually with my birthday. So 6 years, and December 6th is my birthday. 6 is the number of light. And I'm really passionate about numbers and about knowing who we are. And actually it comes from my background, that this will let the people around the world who are listening probably, and I do really love this program, by the way. I mean, we will talk about it later, but I am honestly a fan of Megan. We had to talk heart to heart, and this is the most incredible thing. And I only share things with people that are a soul sister. That's why I always talk about bringing soul story into surface. So mine started years. I didn't even know that it would be a dream come true. I wanted to connect the people globally. Megan, it seems like for those who said, really? Yes, that's what I wanted. And it started when I was at that early age. I'm Tunisian Spanish, so I'm very Mediterranean. So you probably would see me talking with my hands. And I'm sure Megan maybe is a bit Italian, right? But I got not to speak. Yes. So that's also, it's okay. Meaning this is a great thing to be who you are, because that's the most important thing no matter what. That's why if you're listening tonight, I'm sure there is something here that I'm going to say or share or Megan has shared, then please make sure you're always listening. I had to go through all the guests that Megan brought here. And honestly, I'm a learner. I'm a student. This is another S. We'll be talking about S's. So this is my background, coming from a will of connecting the world together. And I said I'm Tunisian Spanish, so I have the Arabic language, and I started German with my aunt. So that means I had no idea what it meant. What I wanted is connect people together. So I got to learn languages very quickly because that was my way of speaking to people. So the dream started really, really early age. And then I started wanting to connect the world, to travel the world. Traveling is a part of my heart that you would never, ever imagine. And I'm sure for those who are listening, they would say, oh my God, I love to travel. So, when you have a dream to connect the world and you want to travel, then I said, okay, what's the best way? And I absolutely, my parents has taught me, you need to have good grades, for you to go here and there. That was her. And then I said, I'll do the good grades. To be honest, I really didn't care about the grades. The only thing, I had a goal. And if you have a goal, you do anything you have to kind of get it. So my grades, to be honest, they were good. I had lots of success early age. I had to start traveling the world at age of 7.5 with what would you call my mother had a friend. She has a daughter. I said, I'll do anything you want me to, Mom. And I'm actually the middle of 6 children. So I was the one who was like, oh my God, here she comes with her story. Oh my God. We don't even know what she's asking for. But they saw me so determined that really I had to get this early age. And then, of course, I was an interpreter. I started doing businesses. I said it at the beginning. I'm a serial, whatever you want to, serial entrepreneur, a serial soul. So that's how it started, from Tunisia, then to Spain, then to the world. And Princeton University gave me a scholarship because they said, at that time, I had no idea. I was 18. They said, you have a sense of adaptation, and they gave me a scholarship for me willing to connect the world. And this is very important. They said that I have that heart and that mindset. So guys, if you're here, your mindset, even if you don't understand it, it's your openness.
Yes.
The openness that will, so that's how it started. And I started business early age, different companies. I was an interpreter for presidents and my teachers, because every time they said, you want to go to this, when you do the training as an interpreter, you also do things. Yes, I was always raising my hands, and I had no idea if I was, capable of doing it or not.
So let me ask you a couple of questions through the thread of what you shared, because one of the things that, as I shared, in the intro and with you as well, is that I want people to hear that my guest story and identify with them to see that I can do this too. And so one of the things that it was very, very black and white, your spirit, meaning that you were brought up in a very dynamic culture, meaning and being exposed to not only in the middle child, which I am a middle child as well. And I think middle children are really tremendous tenacity because we, the older and then the younger, and we have to, otherwise we're just gobbled up.
Mhm.
So with that said, you were this, very dynamic environment and loving family and siblings, I'm sure too, but you traveled with, and so that was one of the things that I heard, that you traveled at a very young age, and travel is, the window of the world, so to speak. I mean, the eyes are, but you get to see the world and see the uniqueness of everyone,
Mhm.
that every person has a unique essence. They're their own person, their own snowflake, as you will.
Mhm.
And so when you left, and you mentioned then as you grew and you were always not only awake and aware to other people, but you were stimulated and by that and motivated. Then when Princeton University offered you a scholarship at 18, did you come to the States? Or
Yes.
you came to the States?
Yeah.
Okay.
And by the way, my parents did not want me to come, and I'm honestly super not only honored, and I want to be giving gratitude to you, Megan, because it's like tonight I'm revealing things that maybe not a lot of people. And actually, my friend told me you need to really write a book and a story. So because at that time I had no idea. I just wanted to travel. I didn't know what Princeton was and who were these people, or had no idea. And I remember I only had 3 years of English when I came to United States, and I had no idea what they were speaking. And before that, my parents said, "No way you're going." And my grandfather, so they listened to, this is the story actually about it. It's like, no matter what you need to term, I did 3 days of hunger. Like I did not eat for 3 days. And my grandfather said, "What's going on with this girl? Like this girl, remember, she's the one who always wanted to do things. And, I wanted so badly. So because she had grades, so everything was fine." And my father, because that's, in the Tunisian culture or the Arab countries, even in the Spanish, same thing, you have, the
patriarchal.
Absolutely. Yes. So I said, she wants to go to the United States by herself. And he said, well, he asked me, "Do you really want it?" He's very strict. My goodness, for him, studying and so on. So I said, "Yes, I want to. And I want to travel around, remember, and that's what I want. I don't know where the States, but I just wanted." He said, "You are the flag of the family. So remember what are our values. Remember that very strongly. You are not only representing your family, the culture, the country. So, okay, go." And that was the start of me going to the United States.
Wow. So let's marinate on this for a minute, because this is big, guys. This is really big. Because again, I don't care if you're in Kansas and want to go to New York City, or if you're in New Jersey and want to go to Sacramento, California. It does, or me, New York girl, going to this strange land, Fort Worth, Texas. Could have been like going from France to, or where you were at that time. Where were you when you were 18? Where was home?
I was in Tunisia. Tunis.
Okay.
Tunis, yeah.
And what year was that?
1980.
Okay. So you come to New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Yes. To Princeton University. Now, first of all, folks, Princeton is one of the most prestigious colleges in the world, first off. That was Albert Einstein. I think he had already maybe passed or certainly stopped teaching, but he was a professor there. I mean, it's, to me, it's really the most important university, or back in those days anyway, was. Yeah. So for you to receive a scholarship, but that was based on, so I want you to repeat that for our guests, because again, you were a middle child in a large family. Even if you were comfortable, it doesn't matter. You had a dream and a goal, and you propelled yourself with that. And you were a good student, like your dad and your mom said, and your grandfather, I'm sure, meaning that grades were all important. So you were a good student. So, but the other thing you said was what your grandfather said about your representing the family. that essence is almost non-existent any longer.
Mhm.
And that is such a powerful statement and a foundation for you. And I want you to share a little bit about that, meaning when I don't want to get too dark head in the weeds here with it, but you do whatever you want. But the fact, did that help you navigate the United States, New Jersey, Princeton University in 1980, meaning your foundation of who you are, Samira?
I mean, this is the most important question, and trust me, I think you are. And thank you for asking it, because I share it with my my partner in life, who is listening next door, just arrived from a trip, and he was the first one. I said, "Can you imagine?" For me, that was really important, and then that made me who I am today. Because going at that time to a prestigious university, which I really had no idea what it was. I only had 3 years of English, means zero. And then I take the honor society speech class. And I had no idea what was that, because the next day they were asking me things, and I was apparently saying yes to everything, and I didn't get half of the things. But then the professor said, "Do you still want to, stay in this class? And this is an honor society." I said, "Yes, yes." I was like the yes girl,
Right.
and I said, "I'll figure it out later on." And then so he asked me. That was my first thing, and I'm happy I'm sharing with everyone, because I only share it with Pascal, my friend, but no one else. And then he said, "Okay, when you're tied up." So, and then he, kind of answered. I said, "My God, tied up, what that means." And then I remember the tie. And I said, "Oh, you're tied up? That means, you really kind of struggled. You don't know, and everything is so strict. To save my place, I wanted to be in that class." And he did it on purpose, because he knew I did not have it. He wanted to know how bad I wanted. And that's how I stayed in that class, which made me actually who I am today. I've spoken in different stages, very early age, that's why I help people with my 6 S's formula, which made me who I am. Like the stage, you go for whatever, even if you don't know, you figure it out. As long as you go for the things you want, the how will always come.
Amen. I mean, it's so true. The how, folks, write that down. That is noteworthy. The how will come, but the why is all important, because if you do not, there's, Ben Franklin, he didn't go to Princeton, but he could have, I guess. But there's a quote of Ben Franklin's that is such a foundational for what we do, Samira, is that if you don't have a plan, and you can take the word plan out and put the why, if you don't have a plan or a why, you're planning to fail. Meaning, because it's the how will come, but if you do not have that foundation of that driving force. So you've mentioned several times the 7 S's. So why don't you share with our guests what they are?
Actually, that's what I called, and this is why I would say tonight the bottom line of the whole story, and this is very important.
Please.
I have been, as I said, in business, but I always wanted to help my neighbors, people. I remember I told you I wanted to connect the world together. Like for me, no barrier, no frontier. And remember, I need to just highlight something very important. There were borders, there were visas, things like you could not go anywhere, So I'm just saying this out loud so that people would say, "My goodness, I have this freedom today. How come I'm not going to whatever I want to?" And then after that, I had to do different, I had a hotel, I had different things. I traveled the world, I lived with different culture. That's why for me today, I'm going to be an MC for my friend wedding. When she asked me, I said, "I never did that. What's that again?" I was like, she said, "Because you are that connector." And, she's actually, I'm part Muslim, or at least that's the background. But I always say my values are who I am. It's like loving And that's why I said before I leave this earth, I would love people to say that I'm inspiring, bold, and loving. So these are three things that makes me aligned to who I am. And then the 6 S's came up, actually, formula, after being bad enough, long enough to be good.
Oh, 6. I'm sorry, I said 7, but the number 6 is your foundational number. Okay, keep going. Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely. Yeah, the 6, as I said, because I always say people has to stand up for who they are, because your name is given. Samira is a name that means wise and bringing light to people. So when you stand for your name is really important. I'm passionate because I come from also one of the things that I did in my life is languages and terminology and understanding the words. Words have meaning, remember? So it is really important to understand the context and when you're saying it and when you're stating it. So at 60 years old, so I just want to say this for those who say, oh my God, I'm too tall, I'm too short, I'm too bad, I'm too big, I'm too this, I'm too old. Guys, that's just the noise that is in there. They have nonsense. And I'm not saying it for saying it. Listen, at 60, I got up with this formula after traveling. Why 6? Because we were in lockdown and the clubhouse, and then, my friends, and I'm moderating, different rooms, and so on, we're all lost it together and said, oh my God, you are incredible, super soul. And then I said, what would you like us to do? I said, well, let's do it a rebirth. So a rebirth is actually any time of your life. You can redo things, you can remake them, you can rewrite your story. You are the only one who decides. Why are you here for? So I brought the 6 S because S is, as I said, from Samira, and the S is the spine, which is actually the most important thing in the body. I have been brought up with my parents, and my mom is an encyclopedia in terms of spices and health. That's why I'm an expert in health and wellness, and I'm going to be writing a book with an incredible co-author on spices. And probably launching it. It's going to be launched December 6th, 2025 here in Paris. And for those, and I would love you, Megan, to be with us here. So these are things that are, aligned. Why aligned right now? But this has not been an easy journey. That's why I'm saying this, because I lost my father, I lost my husband at an early age, my mom, and all this were my lessons. And I always say my biggest lesson in life is actually having so many challenges.
Yes.
So many. So that's why today I can say I'm strong, I'm superb, I'm sexy, I'm sensational, I'm spontaneous. I'm that soul story that came to surface. And I love to bring that to people. So S's could be lots of things. Maybe your SS is spontaneous, is sensational. And I always tell you, Megan, you are that sensational human being, always bringing and bringing the best out of people, in terms of science, in terms of businesses. So that is why the light, and today I'm with sparkling jacket. So I'm actually doing also with brands. So the importance of knowing who you are and bringing that sparkle that is inside of you, how would you do it? Just express it. And the formula is expressing what is your soul, or your real soul story, not a title. I'm the director of this. I'm this.
Right.
I mean, that does not mean anything. But then why you came into this earth, I would love the audience to ask themselves that question. Why am I here? And what's inside of me that I want to bring into surface so I can shine that soul star, story. And I will be talking, in a different level.
So one practical question. I don't have my glasses on, so I see the trailer going long. Is it showing your information of where people can find you, Samira? Pay attention to that for a minute.
Yes, meetsamira.com is my
good. I just want to make sure, because what Samira is sharing is so valuable and so important. We both, I'm a little bit older than Samira, meaning in trips around the sun, but we're of that same generation, so to speak. And, when we were young women starting out, and like she was in Princeton, New Jersey. Oh my goodness. And did you finish there, by the way? Did you finish?
It was kind of a next step, and then I came to the Paris University, which is called Dauphine, which is also in that same level.
Yes.
So that I can be exchanging, because that was the French department who also.
Yes, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. So then she came to Paris. And so these dreams, these goals, these aspirations, those are within us, guys. These are not from, of course, like she said, her grandfather was her champion. There's always a champion along the way, always, and many, not just because life is not a straight line. It does, just because I want to do this doesn't mean it's that. It just takes you on a journey, and life is a journey. And as you already said this, that we embrace those challenges as well. And you mentioned your husband passing at an early age, and your dad and your mother. These are things that can set people back and actually abort a mission. But yet that vision, that mission, those values, those goals were so strong in your soul that you speak, to, and that you just continue to propel on, using those as just things to help others as well. So I would love you, though, to share, because I know people are always fascinated, and that's kind of my job, to bring out the special sauce, right? Is that how long have you been in Paris?
Okay. That's, because I said it from the beginning, it's like whenever I decide I want to go elsewhere, I never stop myself. That's, another S, no stopping. So first I have two boys. I did not mention it. So one of them is in Paris. And I said, I came to visit him, and I usually do that in September. That was September 2021, I suppose. And then because we do a leadership with my business partner every summer, and we do it, in this nice chateau and so on. So I came in normally for that. And then I don't know, for whatever reason, I couldn't go back to Barcelona, where was my place. Honestly, it was exactly what happened. And my son, because I needed to be with him, because we did not communicate, so well after his father's death. There was something, and listening to the gut, by the way, guys, very important. And I was like, and he says, Mom, what are you doing? Are you going back? Are you staying? I said, I don't know. And I was staying. And then I was coaching already my cousin. She's an incredible person, CEO of it, and then some friends and so on. Why don't you stay with us? Come on, you always bring it, that vibes and vitality and energy. I said, really? I didn't listen to me, guys. This is true. I didn't even move from my apartment from Barcelona, and I was staying already here with my clothes, with things that it doesn't matter. And I did my life in Paris. And then I went back for maybe 3 days just to kind of move. And then I am here now in Paris because I decided to. So when you decide, you find a way. And I even had to take a contract in order for me to bring back my social security and do so as I said, when you have a why that is big enough, you will find the solution. So I am now also developing businesses for brands that have a heart. I always love the story behind the brand. I tell them, tell me more. Tell me who you are. And this afternoon, actually, before coming over here, and it has its two incredible lawyers, guys, and they just did their brand, and they're expanding 8 shops already. We connected, and I said, we would love maybe to help us. And I said, tell me more. And could you imagine 2 lawyers who wanted finally to quit maybe law at a certain time really
Mhm.
successful, though this is another lesson. And they said, but actually, I said, why did you do one in Paris and one in LA, one in New York? And said, well, these are the places where we love to travel. So
See,
we
that's it.
decided, can you
Mhm.
imagine, decide
Mhm.
to, do this. So they are still lawyers, but
Mhm.
then they are actually business people with
Right.
8 shops that open. So this is a story for everyone to say, when you really want something bad enough, remember this, you will find a way to do it. Otherwise, you just
Mhm.
excuses. So I was not expecting I would be in France. Now, still friends. Oh, so they always ask me, where are you? That's the question, because they never know where I'm going to be tuning in. So where are you? So the freedom, we can get it, but that does not mean you don't have to work for it. Being
Mhm.
free
Oh,
does not
yes.
mean, like,
Oh, no.
oh, I'm just going to sit here and then it will come. But anything you decide is there for you, waiting for you to just kind of push that button and bring that sparkle and that soul into surface. Your power is just amazing. You never could scale it. This is like petroleum, or like diamond. You can only dig so deep in order for you to see the shine of the
Mhm.
diamond or of the gold.
Mhm.
So if you
Mhm.
want to have that real story, you need to go and dig in yourself and say, what is it I want in life? How I want to see my life. Like now I'm having fun, having this relationship that we go and we're both loving nature. So going into a van and spending a weekend out of Paris and being in touch with nature, it seems the super luxury for that super girl that always, had
Mhm.
hotel things, etc. So just going back to what is it you want inside of you, and truly and genuinely bring it
Mhm.
into surface and
Amen.
work for that.
Amen. You said something very key, and it's expounded upon here, is that when you came to Paris in 21 to visit your son, and I mean, who doesn't love Paris? But it was about, but Spain is not that far from France. So I mean, it's not that difficult of a journey. It's not like flying across the ocean. So with that, though, you listened to your spirit. It wasn't about Paris. It wasn't about Spain. It was about listening to your spirit saying, stay,
Mhm.
stay.
Mhm.
Because
Absolutely.
because when you listen, and guys, as Samira is sharing, as she listened, and people say, well, what are you doing? I don't know. But she was basically listening, and doing what was right for her spirit.
Yes.
And that's when we make mistakes, I call it fitting a square peg in a round hole.
I like that.
Because, if you visualize that, I'm supposed to do this, and then when it's not coming together, well, obviously it's not going to come together because it's not what you're supposed to do.
Mhm. And
So
then
it does take time. Those answers do not come. And then you said it has been a journey of
and then
these last
people say, I said, what? Leaving Spain, the sun? I said, the sun is in my heart. I'm the sun. And I shine, and my smile that I bring to myself, you only serve yourself
Yes.
before anyone else. And then I'm going to be a shining, let's say, sun for my son, who was in a way wanting to, communicate in differently. And thank God I'm almost there, because that's also very important to, if you're not bringing the best out of you and then have that link with the most loving people you have around you, you're not doing anything. But then you're not, oh, that's because this or that. But for me, Paris is a place that is incredibly powerful. It's not easy, that nothing is easy. And then the more the challenges, I think the better you're gonna build that muscles. And for
Yes.
me, building a real muscle and being who you are truly is more important than the place. I was in Spain, okay, but then was I really connecting with my son? And I'm doing more businesses here than there, and I can
Yes.
go anytime. You said it. It's who I
Hop on the
usually
train and be there in hours. Yes. I mean, so
in hours. But the
Mhm.
most important thing, I think, and right now, in at this moment of the, we only like 3 months go into, and I'm never been so determined to make things, and all this decision that I've taken, and any time could be the right time. You're never ahead, you're never behind. Your time is your time. Just listening to the gut, and I always say listening to the inside invoice, that's the best, actually, even language. If you want to speak the language of your soul. Let it be, and then understand who you are. I'm obsessed about health and oneness, and when I say health and oneness, is like, I know I never took any medicine, and I don't want to take it. My mom taught me the best doctor is the one inside of you. Listen to your heart, and thank God I, size whatever you call it, 8 or 6 at 62, and still doing the exercises. I fit in my metabolism at 39 years old, and I know Megan knows a lot about that. So it's not about the numbers of numbers. Numbers, you can scale them at any time.
Right.
It's not like how old or how and what you have done. Right now could be the time for you, if you decide to make things happen. And with everything that is coming to us, we are streaming, we are live, I mean, come on. There is no border, no frontier. We are connected no matter what. So let's connect deeper, and let's connect, and deep dive, and then actually propel yourself, because that's the best thing you can do.
Mhm. Well, that's what you just shared is really where this should end, because the bottom line is we've said it all, meaning it begins with us. It begins with our vision, our mission, our values, as well as listening and taking that step, just as you did. And I met you about that time, Samira, when you were making that transition from Spain to France.
Yes.
And one of the connections you and I both have is fashion and beauty and wellness. And, one of the subheadings, rather, not a brand, of my book that I wrote back in 19 that was published in December of 19 and went onto Amazon and went to number 1 in 4 business categories, Hope and Possibilities Just Over the Horizon. But the subheading is, and you just said it, it's never too early or too late to create the life of your dreams. You said it. You and your partner love going, weekend trips to the country. I mean, it's what you love. There's no, a script for this. It's what you love, and
you make the script
with yourself. Yes,
absolutely.
It's just about that honesty. Well, I am going to put December 25 on my calendar.
Yes.
Because one of the things, and I'm going to say it here live, I'm having my 75th birthday party around the sun, December, in August in 25. And I am doing something, and I'll share with you, not on here, but I'd love you to be part of, and that's in June here in Austin, Texas.
Absolutely.
But then after that, I really want to spend the next 3 months, like September, October, November, or 4 months through the holidays in Europe, Italy, where, my family came from, and France, and just journey around, because I feel in my spirit that that one of my next, and I don't even want to call it a journey, because I just feel it's going to be another period of time.
It's an experience. Experiencing is, I love the word EX, experience. Everything comes from an experience. And we as a human being, we need to experience it, because if you don't do it, no one will do it. And you are unique. Everyone is unique. So do the experience and put it. That's why you see now, you guys, we shared dates with you. This is like something you need to do when you have a goal, put a date on it. So it's like universe with make a conspiracy, to get you where you want. So if you need anything that I can help you with, you have my details to do it. I mean, Megan is just an incredible, not only person that have done so many things that you can learn from her, and the program is incredible. So it is really important to be where you need to be. And listening here, I'm sure there are lots of things you can take from both of experience, and this is all we can say. Make your life a sparkling and shining soul story, and you will be in heaven, that's for sure.
Wow, wow, wow. Well, thank you, my love. I so appreciate you being here. I wish that you were around the corner and we could meet in the cafe, but but maybe soon. And it was certainly soon. But thank you, Samira, for joining me today. And why don't you hang out in the green room, okay? And I'll just close with our guests, and I'll see you in a minute. But again, thank you, Samira.
Thank you.
Wow. I knew you guys would so enjoy Samira Dhouib and all that she has for this world, because we are in a global world, and we are, I used to call this Propel Deep Dive Global, but I decided, I want people to know it's live. So with that, but my heart is to connect the world, as Samira said about her own heart. And so that's one of the reasons we truly connect. So thank you so much, Samira, for joining us today on the Propel Deep Dive. I know that it's going to live on, and the information that is in the screen, please do contact her, not just if you're in Europe or France, but also just globally, here in the States and what have you. So she has so much to share with you, so much passion, so much purpose, and just a guiding light. Light is her heart link. So thank you, guys. And thank you for joining us on the Propel Deep Dive. And I really encourage you to join me on the Propel community. I'm sure that I've been on the trailer throughout this, but the Propel community is where you can begin to receive information, tools, and the things that I will help you with to start, scale, sustain the business and life of your dreams. Because one of the things, and Samira said this throughout, is that if you don't have a life, you really are just creating a job for yourself. So you need to synergistically design that, creating. And she said that about the attorneys that are into fashion. Obviously, they have stores throughout the States and in Europe. And so with that, they are combining their background to what they love. So just pay attention to what is in your heart, what things that are just lighting you up and wanting to continue on with. So join the Propel community. It's propel.megandimartino.com/info. And you can join us there. You'll receive notifications of all of the Propel Deep Dives, but also, there's an archive of past Propel Deep Dives as well as the current one. So you'll get the Wednesday morning, you'll receive a notification. But speaking of morning, you'll receive every day a Propel, I call it the daily, of just a little nugget of inspiration and encouragement, and then a weekly newsletter. And then we do all sorts of events throughout the year, and then you'll be part of that as well. So do join us on the Propel, in the Propel community. And of course, the Propel program is available to you. If you're interested, just contact me and we'll go from there. So I will see you next week on the Propel Deep Dive. And it is also in perpetuity on YouTube, on Facebook, as well as LinkedIn. So you can find it even if you miss it, but of course, on the Propel community. So we'll see you soon, and be blessed.
Hello, peace. Hello, joy.